Hello, everybody. Mackenzie here, coming at you with the final installment for now of our episode by episode review of the new hit musical comedy show, Schmigadoon. As per the usual, I'll be breaking down the events of the episode, the songs, and the new characters who get featured in the latest episode. We'll also be pointing out the fun Broadway Golden Age musical Easter eggs, as that's where this show in this particular season pulls heavily from. So let's break down the events that happened in this final episode of season one of Schmigadoon. So the episode opens with Josh and Melissa the night before they arrive in Schmigadoon, and they attempt to build a tent. While it initially doesn't go well and they start to bicker, it ultimately ends up very nice and romantic for them as they connect and sleep under the stars after their tent falls down. Then we cut back to present time in Schmigadoon, and you have Josh, who has found the heart that Melissa threw away, and he now also finds Carson in a tree, and they discuss how good relationships take work and how Carson should forgive Emma for lying to him about being his mother, not his sister. Carson agrees, comes down from the tree, and Emma arrives, and Carson forgives Emma. Emma then proposes that she and Carson cross the bridge to start a new life with Josh in New York. The next morning, Doc Lopez finds Melissa on the side of the road and declares he has chosen her over the Countess. But Melissa, having found Josh's heart, and after receiving wise advice from Widow Lopez, decides to kindly turn Doc Lopez down as she wants to save her relationship with Josh, since she finds that she still has feelings for him. Josh and Emma and Carson prepare to cross the bridge out of Schmigadoon, but as Emma and Carson start to cross, Josh realizes that he wants to go back into town and find Melissa, as he wants to get back together with her. Emma is clearly upset by this, but she tells Josh to go and follow his heart and find Melissa. In town, Mildred is about to win the election for the mayor position, but right before the official vote is taken, Melissa arrives, followed by Josh interrupting the vote. Melissa apologizes for their breakup and for wanting big romantic gestures when she realizes Josh isn't like that, and Josh responds by offering his love and apology to Melissa in a song. And that is the song, You Make Me Want to Sing. The song turns into a dance together, and the dance ends with the two reconciling and sharing a kiss. Mildred, in a rage, denounces the New Yorkers as troublemakers who have changed the town for the worst. Emma arrives to the town square, and Emma says they've actually taught the townspeople to accept their true selves. When Mildred tries to brush Emma's statement off and throw Mayor Menlove under the bus for him coming out, Florence, who has been locked in her house, has finally reveals herself and announces that she accepts the mayor for who he is and encourages the town that a mayor who is honest about himself is a mayor who should lead the rest of the community. And the town, inspired by this, begin to reveal their own long-kept secrets. So Emma announces to the town that she is Carson's mom. Harvey, the innkeeper, reveals he actually doesn't want to be an innkeeper, wants to be an actor. Larry, the firefighter, reveals he set the big fire last year. Pete, who has been repeatedly in accidents throughout the first season, reveals that he likes to get injured for the attention. Doc Lopez is actually a veterinarian. Betsy thinks she's a socialist. Danny reveals he wants to drop being the town bad boy and that the ring toss is rigged. And Nancy, who we saw in the last episode deliver a baby out of wedlock, reveals that she's the daughter of Mildred and Reverend Layton. And Reverend Layton also reveals that he has feelings for Mayor Menlove, and the two share a kiss. Mildred then throws a tantrum, and the mayor election is held, and Mayor Menlove is reelected in a landslide. Melissa tells Mildred that it's not too late to change. Mildred accepts this advice and accepts Nancy and her baby, and the town celebrates its progress with the modern musical stylings. Then, hand in hand, Josh and Melissa step onto the bridge, but we close out right before it's revealed whether or not they're able to leave Schmigadoon. And thus ends season one. So there are no new characters to cover this week because this was the season finale. So unless there's a big twist at the end of the season where they're going to reveal a whole new character, this was it. So let's get into the songs instead. So the first song we have is You Make Me Wanna Sing. And this is the song where we finally get Keegan-Michael Key to sing. And the wait was worth it for the emotional weight he puts behind the song. You can see how moved he was in the moment when he was filming this, because you can clearly see his eyes are red from crying. And the opening a cappella he does is truly moving to me because it doesn't sound pretty. It sounds authentic, like someone who is trying to sing for the first time. And that's exactly what the character of Josh should be doing at this moment. He shouldn't sound fantastic because he's not a singer. That's not his character. This is a big step for him. This is a first time, like almost like walking for the first time. He's got a lot to grow on that and in the singing front, but he's trying. And this song is very reminiscent of the two types of baritone love ballads written by Brigadoon composers Lerner and Lowe. And the first song is If Ever I Believe You from Camelot, which parallels the grand gesture Josh is making, just like Lancelot in his declaration of love for Guinevere. But the emotional base of the song isn't big uh, like Lancelot, but instead it's more quiet and reflective. And that is very much like the song I've grown accustomed to her face from My Fair Lady. And this is certainly a beautiful love ballad that kind of pays off Josh's change. For me, the change of heart for Josh was a little bit too sudden and not as well developed as I would have liked it to be. But it's Keegan-Michael Key's performance of this song that really sells this moment for me, and always gives me a few tears because it is a really beautiful performance he gives. Then we have the finale song, which is How We Change / finale. So for a finale song, this song clearly marks a transition from golden age musicals into the next era of musicals, which is what we call the post golden age era, which took place in the 1960s. And it was in the 60s that we saw a major shift in style. There's a lot more experimenting with rock musicals like Hair and more culturally diverse musicals like Fiddler on the Roof. There also was a slight shift towards musicals with a deeper, more thought provoking plots and more complex characters. And we see this shift in How We Change, where it begins sounding very much like a beautiful choir, very kind of straight laced, very kind of proper. And that's very much almost like Sunday in the Park with George, in the way that kind of starts quiet, soloists, very legato. And it also has a lot of ties to You'll Never Walk Alone from Carousel. But then the song transitions into its next era, which is lots of fun and calls uh, to a lot of the groovy musicals like Hair, and that includes such uses as the tambourine in a very clear shift in orchestration style. We also see Ariana DeBose get to let loose with some modern riffs too, and then we have a classic, yet again slightly differently orchestrated version of the titular song Schmigadoon. So overall, this is a lovely song, and it's nice to see everyone getting a chance to shine. Even Fred Armisen as uh, Reverend Layton finally gets one solo line. Hopefully, if they come back for another season, he'll actually get a proper song. It's very clear from this song that the showrunners are hinting at the potential that there's more to explore, while still giving the show a traditional Broadway musical finale to wrap things up. So now let's get into my final thoughts. Like the last episode, this episode's a bit mixed for me. I think I'll like it more if there's another season, like a season 2, as the story being wrapped up in just one season feels to me like if we never get another season, that this was a very rushed story and wasn't given its proper time to develop. So like, there's a lot of plots that were introduced in this show, but then were quickly wrapped up. So we have things like Florence accepting Mayor Menlove and being locked in her house for a few days. We have Doc Lopez dumping the Countess, or even Mildred's mayoral campaign in her redemption arc. All those moments I would have loved to have seen explored further versus kind of the rushed end result we got. Like I said before, 6 episodes just clearly wasn't enough for the show. That's only 20 to 30 minutes long. The show would have certainly benefited from a 2 or 3 more episodes to flesh things out, or even just a longer runtime. Like if every episode was 40 minutes, could have benefited from that a little bit of extra time. That would be really helpful in getting these characters better developed, particularly the townsfolk. But even Josh and Melissa, like their reconciliation was very kind of pushed in. Like it was very clear Emma and Josh had good chemistry, and Doc Lopez and Melissa were on a good track with each other. So there was a good opportunity. If they didn't want to wrap it up in one season, they could have extended that reconciliation out longer and really explored those partner pairings further. But ultimately, clearly, the showrunners felt that if we're not going to get a second season, we better wrap up this season with our main couple back together again, because we don't want to leave people in this limbo. So I get why they went that way, but yeah, I felt a little bit forced together at the end. But that being said, I've loved this show from the very first time I saw the first trailer. It's been on my radar. I thoroughly enjoyed watching it. I love discovering all the Easter eggs that were sprinkled throughout the show. I would certainly welcome season 2, but with the contingent that either the episodes are longer or we get more episodes in the season, just so we can do better job developing these characters further. Overall, I give season 1 a solid B+ or A-, depending on my mood, as this certainly is a piece that I like a lot, and most certainly is a soundtrack I will go back and listen to again. But there we go, everybody. That is it for Schmigadoon season 1 miniseries reviews. Thank you so much for tuning in. This was a unexpected bit of content we didn't know we were going to be covering, but surprise, we did it. It was a lot of fun. We are now have one more remastered episode to release for you, and then we should be ready to launch season 4. Yes, that is right. After taking about 2 months or so off to kind of get our season 4 put together, we still were able to find some other content for you, but we'll be very soon getting back to our regular programming, which is very exciting for sure. But for now, everybody, stay healthy, stay safe. If you want to follow me at Mackenzie Horner on all social media platforms. You can also follow me as well with all my antics on Cup of Hemlock. We just launched our first mini series there, where we are covering the 1980s RSC production of Nicholas Nickleby, all 9 episodes that are on Broadway HD. So if you want to hear me talk about some plays and also Les Mis, because the creative team behind Nicholas Nickleby also covered Les Mis too, we'll get into that. So yeah, check on out Cup of Hemlock if you want to see that type of fun stuff there. But until then, everybody, stay healthy, stay safe, and we'll see you all next week with the remastered episode. Thanks. Bye.